Hello everyone, welcome to this week's Gran Turismo 7 Daily Race Race and Strategy Guide. We're off to Grand Valley Highway 1 and we are in the Group 3 machinery in a combination that is certainly not going to stop the complaints about lack of creativity and repeat races. Now we're a little bit late to the party here. It may well be something to do with the 16 pints that I drank on Sunday. There was no way I was making a video at 7 o'clock this morning, so apologies for being a little bit late to the party, but we've got 9 laps to get round. We'll talk about that number in a wee minute. We've got tyre wear at times 6, fuel at times 3, and we have just the racing medium tyres available. There is one mandatory pit stop. Remember, it's a pit stop, not a mandatory tyre change. We'll see what's going to be the best way to do it later on in the video. BOP is on, damage is light, it's a rolling start, slipstream is real. And in terms of setup options, you have the anti-roll bars, you have the expansion, compression and frequency for the suspension. So let's move on to some race action now. I did say I was going to talk about the number of laps for this now. It's only 9 laps, which is a little bit of an odd number. Now I swear that somebody from PD must have watched my video yesterday where I said that Daily Race C is always 10 laps. I swear to God, somebody from PD has watched that video and went in and changed that from 10 down to 9 this morning. 100% has to be, because there's no other real explanation for it. I jest, of course, but it does seem like a little bit of a weird coincidence, because 9 laps is going to lead to a very short race, as you will see when we get to the end of the action here. So we're in the Toyota Supra, starting down in P16 as this one gets underway. I think the kind of cars are going to be strong for this one is going to be our usual suspects when it comes to Group 3, so I don't think the Supra will be too bad. They've got a Mercedes in front of us, there's quite a few people in Nissan GTRs, and I do believe the Genesis X is at the top of the time trial leaderboard at the moment. Obviously you've got fairly numerous setup options in this one as well, so you have to take a look out for videos from the usual suspects for setups for those cars. But yeah, race is underway. Now I was not well in this race here, I'm not going to lie. I was very much suffering from a hangover, so I was just wanting to really just keep my nose clean in this one, not really interfere with anybody's race. I just wanted to get a feel for the tyres, how the tyre wear worked, whether you were going to have to make a pit stop or not. So yeah, Mad Sharper there in the Mercedes peeling off into the pits on lap 1, and a few other drivers there as well. So yeah, they're not changing the tyres obviously. If they're pitting at the end of lap 1, there'll be no benefit to changing the tyres. I had no idea at this point what the tyre wear was going to be like, but I did have an idea that most people would not be changing the tyres after lap 1 there, with people pitting at the end of lap 1. Moving up into P12 as the Spanish driver in the GTR suffers from a track limits penalty, and we have another driver up here who has spun on the exit of the chicane and has picked up a 1.5 second penalty. So it does look like wall penalties are on here as well, and there is quite a few walls to hit on this track, to be fair. Obviously a little bit worried about wall riding maybe at certain parts of the track. So yeah, wall penalties, collision penalties are a little bit of an annoyance, particularly if you kind of get bumped into a wall, but sometimes it's a necessary evil to stop people getting up to shenanigans. So Loreno there in the GTR, I was actually just leaving the door open for that driver there to go for the overtake. As I said, I was just full concentration, just keeping the car on the track. I've got traction control on 1, just to make sure that I don't spin, because certainly not going to be on 100% given how I felt from the excesses of the old Tennent's Lager from the night before. So just wanted to keep my nose clean, try my best not to ruin anybody else's race. Now Alex McPenguin there has went into the wall in the Ford GT, luckily not to pick up a collision penalty for that. So we're going to pit at the end of this lap. It is lap 4, because I was just kind of thinking that GT40 is going to put me under pressure into turn 1, and I'm just trying to save as much time as possible. So coming into the pits here, our tyre wear, maybe we've got about 30, about a third of the tyres worn there. We're not going to change the tyres, so we're only stationary for 1.6 seconds now. If you are interested in how long changing the tyres is going to take, it's going to be the time as you're about to see here. So 1.6 for not changing the tyres, 5.7 to change the tyres, so you lose 4.1 seconds taking on a fresh pair of boots, and that's quite a lot of time, to be fair. You're certainly going to be getting up track position, and you know the way that people fight in this. So coming out the pits here, we are going to maintain the position over the Mercedes. We actually jumped the Mercedes there over the course of the last few laps, so Man Sharp was actually just in front of us as they made their pit stop. As we make our pit stop, we actually have came out in front. So we're going to jump all the way to lap 9 now. We're in P9, and we have the Spanish driver in the GTR putting us under quite a lot of pressure. Our tyre wear is pretty bad, so I would probably be faster to change the tyres, but again, you're giving up a lot of track position, and you've got to try and get the overtakes done on the drivers that don't pit. Now we do go defensive here. I wasn't sure if I maybe moved a little bit late, so we're just going to brake a little bit late, leave the door open for the Spanish driver to go up the inside here. I just wasn't sure whether we had blocked that driver there unfairly. So, and as I said, I was just trying to keep my nose clean, just get this race over and done with, because I was just looking for the race to end, to be honest with you. I was so ill at the time. I feel a little bit better now as I do the commentary. By the time of doing this race, I was not feeling good at all, and I was glad to get to the checkered flag. So we're going to get a good run on the GTR here. Obviously being in the Supra, the GTR knows that as well, so they've been a little bit weavy, maybe just in response to I was kind of moving about on the street as well, trying not to give them a free slipstream when they were behind us. But yeah, P9, 18 seconds off the lead, only 16.5 minutes for the race, so definitely could have been 10 laps, should have been 10 laps, probably even could have been 11 laps as well. But that is pretty much it for this one. Let's just briefly talk about the strategy options. Now normally I would have lots of graphics up here for you, but we're late to the party, and there's not too much to be said on this one. So your options are, if you don't change the tyres, you have the flexibility to pit on any lap you want. The tyres will be pretty worn at the end, so the cars that are good on the tyres, like the Nissan GTR, the Mazda RX Vision, are probably going to be good cars for this one, just purely through the tyre wear. The McLaren as well. If you're really bad on tyres, then you probably want to be changing them at the sort of midpoint of the race, so pitting on lap 4 or 5. You will lose track position, you'll lose 4 seconds making that pit stop, but you will have better tyres at the end and possibly be in a position to make some moves. But I think for the majority of drivers, this one is going to be a no tyre change one stopper. Obviously the stop is mandatory, so you have to make it. If you don't make it, you pick up a 1 minute penalty. But yeah, that's all the information you need to get yourself through this one. As I said, apologies a little bit late. It's not really up to the same quality as well, but I'm just not very well. Self-inflicted, of course. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye now.